Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Bonsie here. Today, you might already know if you've seen the short, I'm going to make something I've never made before. Obviously I'm a chef, should be able to do it. This is inspired by my most favourite channel on YouTube. It's called Holler Homestead, and I'll let you know a wee bit more as we go through. So I'll just turn that down a wee bit. I've got my hot pan on, I've got my grill on for later on, got all my ingredients, and I'm making Scotch beef burger mac and cheese. It's an all-in-one, so get my beef in there, hot sizzling pan, I'll chop it up. It doesn't necessarily need to be all small, chunky bits will do. You want to brown it off like a burger first, get the flavour for the Scotch beef, caramelise the proteins. In food, if you've got colour, you usually have flavour. So you just get your mince in the hot pan and break it up. If you've got time, have your ingredients all ready for yourself, just to whack it together. You just break the mince up or Scotch beef a little bit, so the smaller chunks. I've got a few other ways I might make this if this is tasty, show you different ways to make it. So it's an 80-20, 80 beef, 20% beef fat through it. The beef fat gives you flavour as well. I've got to get my grated cheddar, it's mature Scottish white cheddar from the west coast of Scotland. When I do make my macaroni and people eat it and they say, that's amazing, how do you make that? I tell them the recipe. So the recipe is an old classic sauce, a bechamel, and then when you put cheese in it, you've got cheese sauce, a wee bit of English mustard, and then I finish it off a secret way. So you also got yellow mature colour cheddar here, which just gives it a light yellower colour. You can now hear and possibly see that the small amount of liquid from the beef has now evaporated. We're now getting to the frying stage, so I'll just let it sit in colour. If you shake your meat too much, it doesn't brown. So I'm not mucking about, I like cheese. I've got enough, 2 mugs of pasta here, should be enough for me and some for tomorrow, because I'm away out on a jolly with some of my friends gold prospecting. So I'm probably going to use that amount in the sauce and that amount for my topping. Now I'll give it a stir. You can see it browning a bit, just like cooking a burger. You're getting some colour in there. The proteins are mineralising, the sugars, just giving the flavour. I haven't added any salt or pepper. Cheese has salt, it's mature. I will be seasoning obviously. So we're just getting a good colour there. Right, next thing on our recipe was I've got garlic and onion powder, roughly a half teaspoon each. Oh. Got to be ready for everything. So just chop that up. We're a bit humid here in Scotland. It was roasting hot for the last couple of days and now we're kind of misty and humid. So that was the powders just. So get in there with that. Paprika I wanted to try. I think she's got in a recipe a wee bit smoked paprika. Oh wow, straight away you can smell that, the paprika. So in with some water. Now usually when I'm doing pasta I do double the amount of liquid. Just have to watch I don't get my chef shirt dirty. Usually do double the amount of pasta. This is a 1 potter. So I'm putting my milk in. I use UHT and I want that roughly to be double the pasta. So when the pasta's ready, and 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes depending, maximum 12 usually, that it's reduced enough, because there's no thickening agents in this one. It'll be cream in the cheese that thickens it. So we're just getting that up and running again. I like to work clean. This is going to be perfect. So just coming to the boil now. You can see it. Should be hot enough. When I put this in, it's going to cool it down again slightly for a wee minute. That's my pasta in now. Some of the secrets with pasta is in the first minute, 2-3 minutes, try and give it 1 or 2 stirs so it doesn't stick. And that happens because the starch is coming out of the pasta. If you don't stir it to stick together. I don't use oil. The secret is actually stirring the pasta so that when the starch comes out they don't stick together. Now, I might need a wee bit more water in the cooking process because I'm kind of looking and going, is it double? Maybe just put a wee bit more milk in, make it creamy. Now if it's tight, I am adding some double cream in there. I'll tell you the story. I've been following this channel for 5, 6, 7 years. It's about a couple and their children. I think they lived in Los Angeles and they were busying away as a husband. I think he never got to see his family, so they decided, Ben and Meg, and go and look for an alternative lifestyle. So I started following the channel. They went round America, all the states, so I watch them all the time. I love their content. It's plain, it's simple. The channel's called Holler Homestead. I recommend you go over there, link in description. This is Meg's recipe. They tend to show their food most times on their videos, what they're having for tea. I believe she might be doing a cookbook at some point. As I said, macaroni, 8-10 minutes. So the macaroni's cooking, it's reducing. You can always keep adding some liquid, some more milk or water. I'll have a wee taste of that. If you taste as things are building, you establish with your taste buds how you're building things, how the flavours are going. Nice base flavour. I'm going to put a wee bit of salt in. I'm going to put 1 bay leaf in. I like my bay leaves. And I'm going to put some of my favourite, as you know by now, smoked salt in. I love the smoked salt. This gives a Moorish flavour to everything. Now always remember, you can add, but you can't take away. If it's too salty, most of the time, you'll never get it back to being unsalty. You could maybe dilute things, but you'll end up with a giant pot. And I can hear that starting to tighten a bit. I don't think the pasta will be ready. I will just check a bit. No. So I know that's going to be another 4 minutes till the pasta's getting al dente. Don't worry about me here. We're quite lucky in Scotland. We've got beautiful water. As far as I know, we export the water to England as well. Now I'm going to add some black pepper. I've said to you before, if you can, try and use fresh ground black pepper. The oil comes out, the particles, as you are breaking it or grinding it, and you get the natural oil coming out of the pepper. You get a deeper depth of flavour. So I'll just give that a stir. I can smell the black pepper. A little bit of chopped gherkins, burger gherkins. Meg puts a bit of tomato through hers and a bit of American mustard, so everything's tasting like a rich cheeseburger with all the toppings: cheese, ketchup, tomato, onion powder and gherkins in it. As I say, this is coming to. It'll be another 3 or 4 minutes. I've had my grill on, pre-prepped. I'm now turning that up. Because what I do with my macaroni is I like to au gratin, which is at the very end, is put fresh cheddar on and some salt and put it under a hot grill so it caramelises. They get that spotty brown, not burnt, but cooked crispiness. Just another level of flavour. And that's what cooking's about, is flavour. So, it's starting to tighten up again, and you're getting a sauce, a slight sauce thickness. That's coming off the starch in the pasta. It's building slowly. And taste the bay leaf, I've had enough, so I'm going to take that out. So, the pasta's probably 2-3 minutes away from being al dente. I know when I start to stick this in, the cheese, it'll get stickier and stuff on the pan. And seemingly in America, 1970s, there was a company and they had a thing called Hamburger Helper. I think you fried your mince and then you chucked the macaroni with a dried mix in it, spices and mustards and stuff, and then cooked it out. It was a good staple and it's a good meal. It's got 8 ounce Scotch beef in it. You'd get 2 good portions out of that, or 4, and you can supplement it with some of the fries in it. Now what I'm going to do is put some of my cream in. Fresh double cream. This is fresh but UHT. So I'm putting half of that in. Now it's thicker, so it'll thicken up. And I'm going to get my cheese in there. Beautiful, beautiful. Used to have a company called Bernard Matthews Turkeys, they used to say. Bernard Matthews Turkeys, beautiful, beautiful. Get in there with the gherkins, mixing the cream in, because the pasta's coming too. A bit more salt. As I say, the mature cheddar is maturing as it's maturing and drying out more. The salt that's in it when you produce cheese gets a bit more condensed, so you've just got to watch that you don't over salt at the beginning, but finish it off for service. A good chef will always finish off for service. Check the seasoning, hopefully so that when it goes out in the plate the customer doesn't need to put salt on it. And we are in a reduced salt world at the moment, which is a good thing supposedly. Go back in for a taste. Starting to go now. The richness of the cheese is coming through with the salt to get a balance. I want more black pepper. We'll get that in there. It's now thickening up. Now that's nice. I'm going to turn that off. It'll still cook out of the heat. Now, in macaroni I usually put English mustard in. I'm adding this bit by bit. So Meg uses French's or American mustard. It's like a burger. Maybe like the Big Kahuna, which is a burger seemingly on Pulp Fiction. You've got that wee bit. If you're biting a burger, you're going to have gherkins. Now adding that has brought the flavour of the gherkins out. Then ketchup. It's Heinz. That's what I use. I don't want to add too much. I can always add some more. That is like a burger. There you go. Thank you, Meg, at Holler Homestead. Last ingredient, wee bit of butter. Butter enriches everything. But I like to do my pastas and macaroni this way, creamy ones. Put in a dish. Get every bit of flavour out there. Then what I do, just get a wee sugar. Put your cheese over. You don't need lots of it, but if you want more, put more on. Salt, sprinkle it over the top of the cheese. What that does is it's grilling. Just added the last level of flavour. You'll see where the salt landed because it draws the moisture out, and that's where you get au gratin. Au gratin classically also had breadcrumbs in it, dry breadcrumbs. You would never throw your old bits of bread, and you would put that through because of carbohydrate. You never wasted anything in the old days. I prepped my chips earlier and I've turned it up so that all I need to do is drop the chips and I'll do the last part of the cooking. I do have another channel, it's called Fairiegold, F-A-E-R-I-E-G-O-L-D. I've done a treasure hunt a few years back. So there's still a couple of golden caskets to be found with gold nuggets. So let's have another look at this. And that's just perfect. Bubbling hot, brown, crispy cheese on top. Oh wow, starving, starving. My mouth's watering. And it's a burger style one. This is going to be interesting, the final product. But that's how I do it. That where the brown marks are is probably where the salt dropped, and it helps crystallise it and that. So give it a try yourself. Get it on a service plate. Oh, the smell. So this is going to be my first time. Hamburger mac and cheese, my first time ever. Got some of that crispy cheese on top. And I know I work for a profession. I say it's my hobby and food is fun. I've done it 44 years. And even for myself, but seeing customers smiling when they put the first spoons into their mouth and they know that things in the kitchen have been made with love from the heart, and the chef has a developed palate. That is like eating a beautiful burger at a top class place. Beautiful produce. Scotch mince, Aberdeen Angus Scotch beef mince. It's famous across the world. Beautiful Scottish white cheddar for the west coast of Scotland. And the other wee bits of care and attention are taken. The wee bee leaf, taste that in the background. The beautiful cheddar coming through. The sweetness, there's a wee pickly sweetness of the burger gherkins. I can just taste the mustard, American mustard, different parts of your mouth, and then the ketchup is in the background as well. The only thing it's missing is a bun. You could put this onto a bun, brioche buns. I've bought some of these sesame brioche buns to do some burger videos, so I think you should try this. Hop over to Holler Homestead on YouTube and say hello, and maybe subscribe, watch some of Meg's cooking and contents and what they do on the farmstead. As I say, amazing. I'm away through to sit at my table and have this with chips. Take care everybody, watch for the next upload and share with your friends. Thanks for watching again, see you on the next video. Lots of love, Bonsie.